Hi, it's Mark from Mark of the Cyberbeast, the #1 Cybertruck podcast and YouTube channel on the internet, in the world even. So today I want to talk to you about a very, very important change coming in 2026. Now this is about the chargers that you'll have in your home. Now before we go into talking about this new proposed change by the NEC, just want to show everyone, we're in the beautiful Florida Keys. We've got this great looking Cybertruck, this polished Cybertruck by Oliver's Metal Polishing, right here on the beach of the Florida Keys in Alamorada. We are filming this week, guys. We're starting in Key Largo for Cybertrucking in the Keys. But look at this view. This gorgeous EV sitting on the beach with the ocean behind it. And in the distance, Alligator Reef Lighthouse. So now that I've staged the backdrop, I want to talk to you about something that's vitally important, okay? Now this is about installation starting in 2026, a proposed change by NEC, the National Electrical Contractors, and this involves your home chargers. Now, if you already have a home charger installed, you're good to go. But if you're rebuilding a new house or moving, or you want to add another charger for a his and her charger like we have at our home, this is something you need to know, because in 2026, if you hire a licensed electrician, they're going to be required to install a GFCI breaker to go ahead and install your EV charger. Now, that's bad for a couple reasons, okay? One of the main reasons is simply this. You're going to trip. You're going to trip the breaker more than you need to. Yes, that was on purpose. I didn't accidentally fall. What is about this tripping, and why is it not important to your chargers? So every single charging company, ChargePoint, all the other manufacturers, GM, Ford, Tesla, Rivian, every single one, 100%. In fact, there's not one EV manufacturer, charger on the market that is that is for this change for the GFCI breakers. Everyone is against it, okay? So hopefully it'll change. I don't know though. They want you to install a GFCI breaker, okay, where your EV charger is, which is usually, I guess, your garage or just outside your garage. And I understand they're talking about safety, but all of these chargers, all of these charging systems already have a GFCI breaker in there. So here's the analogy I'm going to use. What they're really trying to do is like if you go on a date with a girl and she asks you to wear 2 condoms. That's really what they're doing. There's already a GFCI system in there, okay, to trip the breaker. And the one that they're requiring is going to require, I think it's a 5 millisecond clamp time, and it really is going to cause unnecessary tripping. Now, why is that important to you? Well, say you've got a beautiful Cybertruck like this and you've got a long trip today. In fact, we do. So we'll be driving a lot today, so I charge to 100%. But suppose you have a GFCI breaker and it trips in the middle of the night while you're charging. You wake up, you go check your vehicle, and guess what? You don't have 300 miles of charge, you have 120. Now you're stuck charging at a supercharger you didn't plan your day for. And that's gonna change your entire schedule. Now, why would this thing trip? Well, with this secondary GFCI breaker, it is going to have a lot of unnecessary trips, because the slightest thing, like for instance, humidity. Here we are, if you're anywhere near the water, we're on the water here, okay? And I'm gonna, I hate to leave this beautiful view, but I wanna show you the charger. So I'm gonna walk and talk at the same time. So even if you're, geez, I'd probably say within 30 miles of ocean or any humid area. I mean, you could be in mountains, by a lake, whatever. If you're in a humid area, okay, the humidity could easily set off and trip the breaker. Any slight water in there could trip the breaker, okay? Now, again, there's already this interrupt, and in case you aren't aware, GFCI stands for Ground Fault Circuit Interrupt. Okay, and this is what you have in your kitchens and your bathrooms, so that if you get something wet and plug it in, you're not going to be shocked. Okay, it's just going to protect you. And I understand, everyone understands about protection, but the reality is there's already this protection in here. Now here we are at the charger here where I'm at. Hopefully you can see right there. That's the Atlantic Ocean. 100 feet at best, probably less, okay? And you've got this charger that's been here for 4 years or so. And you want to talk about humidity, this is as humid as you can get. If we had to hook this up to an electrical panel, and that breaker in that electrical panel had a GFCI breaker, that thing would be tripping all the time, okay? This is horrendous. Now, how could you alleviate this need and get around it? Well, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, get your EV charger installed before the end of the year. But that may not be possible. Maybe next year, like I said, you're moving and you can't put it into a house you don't have yet. The other option is, and this is at your own risk and demise, but this is what I would do. Hire a non-licensed electrician, because a licensed electrician is going to stick to the NEC code. So get a contractor. And look, this is not rocket science. It's 6-gauge wires. There's 3 of them. There's great videos on YouTube of how to install a home charger. You get a 60 amp breaker, non-GFCI, and you run it through the conduit. Now, for some people, like on the install you saw there, they put it in conduit and buried it in the ground for more aesthetically pleasing looks, but we really didn't need to do that. Most of the installs we've done on our properties have been conduit on the outside wall because it's been right there. So what I want you to do is really think about the electricians you hire, because honestly, if they're going to follow this GFCI, because I just saw a post on a Facebook group. A guy just had his wall charger installed. The electrician put in the GFCI breaker and he says it keeps tripping. Why does it keep tripping? Because you don't need 2 condoms, okay? Just let's think about this, be smart. If every single EV company, if every single EV charger already has it built in, why do you need a second one? That's just totally ridiculous. By the way, do you think I'll be able to get out from that sand, perilous sand my Cybertruck is in, dangerously near the water? I think so. It did last week, so I'm sure it'll be able to get through this week. Anyway, I digress. This GFCI thing is just absolutely a total farce. Hopefully they'll have some changes. Hopefully some of these states will intercede and the states can go ahead and make these changes so that this NEC code, National Electrical Contractors Code, doesn't interfere with all these homeowners, because the last thing you want to do is charge at night and then you found out, maybe you come home and you have like 5% battery life and you charge up, but it's not charging because it tripped. And then with the climate control, it kills the battery, okay? And you wake up and you've got 0 battery and you can't get to work. That would totally suck, okay? So that's my rant today. This GFCI debacle, all right? So worst comes to worst, install it yourself. The YouTube videos I've seen, as long as you know how to turn off the power coming in to the electrical panel and you turn that off, doing one of these installs is really not difficult. And if you have any questions about it, I'm sure you've got a friend who's smart enough or a contractor who could help you out. These installs, I paid anywhere from $250 on up, okay? As long as your charger is relatively near your electrical panel, it shouldn't cost much at all. The most expensive one we did was the one you just saw. We paid about $1,350 because they buried conduit and it's hard trenching it through the sand. If I was there when they did the install, I would have just told them, run it on the outside of the wall, no need to bury it, and probably save myself several $100s. But when you're not there to supervise an install, they're gonna install the way that's gonna make them the most money and look good, but make them the most money. So I digress. I will continue on making sure you guys are educated on all these new laws coming up with the EV chargers. And whatever you do, don't use these crappy, I apologize, they're not crappy. They have a place. Mobile chargers have a place. Mobile, okay, in your trunk of your Cybertruck. But your mobile charger shouldn't be used as a home charger. You really should use a wall charger. I mean, for $450, get a Tesla charger, they're great. We have them at our vacation rentals that we manage. We have 2 at our home, one for my wife's Model 3, one for my Cybertruck, and they're not using GFCI breakers, and they work great, okay? Our Gen 2 L2 charger, I think lasted 6 years. It finally just fried. We had an episode on that, but now we're in the Gen 3 Level 2 chargers. Everything's going great. And make sure when you do the install, you use the SSID and the Wi-Fi and connect it to your Tesla account, so you make sure you get it online and pair it into your Tesla app. That's my episode for today. And if you're as upset and pissed off about this proposed change as I am, you're not going to press the like button. You're going to smash the like button. And if you're really as upset as I am, you're not going to just press subscribe. You're going to smash subscribe, and you're going to make comments. And I want to hear what you have to say about this GFCI. Are you an electrician? Do you maybe you like wearing 2 condoms? I don't know. Let's hear from you down below. Like, comment, subscribe, GFCI, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Folks, I'm going to see you tomorrow, and I'm going to be filming in Key Largo. We're already set up to do some amazing shots here in the Keys. I'm going to see you again tomorrow.